Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon. I'm back, and today I want to talk about the latest update coming to Marvel Strike Force and the first part of it that we know of. In this video, you can actually see my dogs behind me. I'll kind of bring it up a little bit. You can see them over there. 3 of them. 2 Chihuahuas and a Bulldog. But anyways, alright, so let's talk about what's coming in this update, or at least one of the things we know that's coming. So first off, we know that Beast is getting an update, and what his update is sort of hints us into what's coming in the update besides Beast. So Beast is getting reworked to go on that Astonishing team. I'm sure you guys watched the video where I talked about what I think was going to happen with the teams in the new update. Well, I mentioned Colossus, Beast, Storm, one of them we're going to have to get the cut and move to the new X-Men team. It looks like Beast is the one they're picking because if you look at his kit. Okay, this first part's stupid. He has this passive where essentially he'd apply a bunch of, or he had this ultimate where he'd apply a bunch of effects depending on what class you were, but if you were an X-Men, he would apply all the effects to you. Now, since they have the Uncanny and the Astonishing X-Men trait, he applies to Uncanny and Astonishing X-Men traits. So essentially now all X-Men, I don't know why they don't just have like they could have Uncanny, Astonishing, and X-Men. Really, there shouldn't be Uncanny or Astonishing in the first place. There should just be X-Men, and then we could pick the best teams from there. Really, that's just how it should be. But if you look here now, it's Uncanny or Astonishing X-Men. It just adds a lot of extra words to this ultimate that I don't think really need to be here. When they could just say, like for this first line, they could say Blaster, Brawler, and X-Men instead of having to be like, oh yeah, Uncanny or Astonishing. I think it makes it look really confusing to a brand new player. Why there's so many traits here, and really, this is just them accounting for both of the X-Men teams, which is kind of stupid because there should just be one X-Men team. If they wanted to go for these 2 different X-Men teams that refused to work together, I think they should have gone for Blue and Gold because these sort of had a bit of a rivalry, I think, in the comics. Instead of Uncanny and Astonishing, it just doesn't really make sense. But regardless, that just sort of means he can go on either team right here. This doesn't necessarily put him on one of the teams with his ultimate change. Where it does put him on one team is with his passive change. So essentially, it used to be if there was an ally that's an X-Men. See, right here they use the X-Men. Why can't they use X-Men up there? I don't know. But he would heal them for 15% of that character's max health on that turn. Now, if the ally is an Astonishing X-Men, he'll heal them again for 20% of his max health. So essentially, he'll heal X-Men, and if you're a specific type of X-Men and Beast likes you a lot, he'll heal you pretty much double what he would be healing any of the other X-Men. Kind of stupid if you ask me, kind of dumb. And if you look at the rest of this passive, this whole gimmick right here, if your character has 3 or more Uncanny X-Men allies, so he still has to be on an Uncanny X-Men team with the rest of his passive. I don't know what they're doing with him. And then they said, be on the lookout for ways to earn more Beast shards, so that hints that maybe Beast is becoming farmable this month. Really hoping that was going to be Red Skull or Taskmaster. That's really who we need, because essentially right now, don't mind my chihuahuas back there. One of them sneezed and the other one didn't like it, but essentially Taskmaster and Red Skull are leaders of this mercenary in this Hydra team. Without those characters, a new player has no reason to farm out mercenary characters or Hydra characters and the Hydra minions, because those characters are what make or break that team, and if they can't obtain them, there's no point in building minions. So I think it's kind of dumb when they don't have the leader of the team's farmable, because as a new player, I could never recommend farming out the team if you can't get the leader. And they've been holding off on Red Skull and Taskmaster. Red Skull's so long, Red Skull's not even really meta anymore. He has like 4 different counters. You could do Blackbone. They actually customized a team just to counter him with Baron Zemo. You could do Symbiotes. There's a bunch of different counters to them now, so they're not even that good. I don't know why they're holding off on Red Skull. Kinda silly if you ask me. But this Beast update right here is also pretty silly to me. Now, we will know who these other characters are probably by the end of the week, because the patch is coming out on 12-8. It's 12-2, 6 days. I believe that lines up with next Tuesday-ish, Monday-ish. The patch will come out, so we'll know the characters by then. But interestingly enough, on the Discord server, I'm looking at my phone right now, the skill gear and the speed for Red Guardian and Yelena Belova, I believe that's her name, came out and has been data mined. So that gives some more evidence to sort of suggest that Red Guardian and Yelena are coming as the final 2 characters for the patch. We know it's going to be the 2 X Factor members. We know it's going to be 2 X-Men. What those last 2 were, I was assuming was 2 X-Men, but it could end up being Yelena and Red Guardian. I still don't think it's going to be Yelena and Red Guardian. Essentially, they've had Yelena and Red Guardian done for almost a year. They had them done before the Black Widow movie came out to release with the Black Widow movie, but then COVID hit. Then they just sort of like, oops, we'll wait for the Black Widow movie to come out. They've been waiting almost a year to release these characters. I don't know why they would suddenly just release the Elena and Red Guardian in December when there's a new release date for Black Widow, you know, 3 to 4 months away. And with the potential for a COVID vaccine, not around the corner, but somewhat soon, hopefully, I think that Black Widow release date is actually a realistic release date. Now, whether or not people are willing to go back to a movie theater so close to the pandemic, that's another question. But I actually think Black Widow will be releasing probably sometime late spring, early summer. If they've held off this long to release the Elena and Red Guardian, I don't know why they just, okay, December, put them out. Especially when they're doing these X-Men themed updates right here. It's X sneak peek week. I don't know why they'd be like, Red Guardian's coming, because I assume Beast will go to this team. Then 2 of the X-Men will be announced. They say cool, so that cool new member, that's probably Iceman. This came out on Tuesday. I don't know how long they're going to do this for. I guess at least till Saturday. I'd assume till Friday maybe. And they could announce multiple characters in one day. Some people talked about Storm also moving to this new team because Beast has synergy with Storm. I think this is also... It doesn't make sense what they're doing because Storm's a raid character really, because she gets these charges, she can release them at one point, so it would make sense that she follows Beast. If they're trying to design these characters for a raid team, Storm would want to be on them. But then you mess up the original X-Men team because there's not enough X-Men on there, because you'd only have Colossus, Cyclops, Wolverine, and Phoenix. And then I guess if they decide to put Psylocke on that team, but Psylocke doesn't mix with, okay, Psylocke, like, it doesn't make sense that you'd go with those people, so I don't know what they're doing with this X-Men team. I sort of understand when they have these cookie cutter teams. I don't mind them when it's like Red Skull and it's like he works with the minions, or it's like Hydra and it's like, well, Baron Zemo works with Winter Soldier and Crossbones. That makes sense to me. What doesn't make sense at all canonically is when these X-Men are like, we aren't gonna work with the other X-Men. I think what really would have been cool is if they just released, you know, at the end of the day you had like 15 X-Men characters in this game. They all synergized with each other. And then you could essentially just build 3 teams of X-Men however you want. You know, X-Men are really about teamwork, diversity, overcoming adversity. Pretty poetic right there. And they really just work together at the end of the day, no matter what their power set is. And Fox Next is kind of spitting in that face right now by being like cutting them up into little teams with stupid tags, and they're not even doing it well with Beast, because Beast still has this uncanny X-Men part, which I know why they have that, because Phoenix dies and revives in battle, and she dies in a campaign mode and comes back as Dark Phoenix, so you only get 2 stars on it because it counts as somebody dying. So this is here so you can use Phoenix in campaigns. But if he's so critical to Phoenix, why are they taking him off of the Phoenix team? Like, it doesn't make sense. This isn't smart. They should just have normal, like, if this character has 3 more X-Men allies, there shouldn't even be this uncanny or astonishing tag. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, this adds so much bloat to his skills that's so confused to a new player. Like, a new player's like, why can't Beast work with Cyclops? They were on the OG X-Men team. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Why did they do X-Men here but not X-Men up here? Why uncanny here but why astonishing here? Beast is a bit of a mess. I would not hold my breath for the astonishing X-Men team if Beast is any litmus test for how much thought they're putting into the team. The fact that Beast is sort of a half-baked character putting on the team that only half synergizes with them, it doesn't bode well for them. But at the end of the day, what do I really know? Because I am only a 19-year-old. I hope everyone can have a happy and healthy day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Signing off, everyone.